In three, two. Hey, Aaron, so talk to us. Tell me one or a couple tactics, strategies, or thoughts that we can do with direct mailer or postcard marketing that you know can definitely help other practice owners out if we were to implement it today.
Yeah, well, great. So here's where we're at. So I'm really big on seasonality in dentistry, seasonality in marketing and what works, different types of the year and why, right? I want to know the why. When you mail out a postcard to 5,000 homes or 10,000 homes, what are they going to call about? Why would they call? When do they call? So over the years, as I've tracked literally over 100 million cards for dentists, is I look for some of those trends because so there's a saying back in my football days, I want to put the player in the best position to be successful. Okay. So if you're putting in a quarterback to play offensive lineman, it's not going to last that long. He's not, maybe you can hold your own for 1 month. So if you're doing a mailing campaign, even if it's perfectly designed, even if it's targeted to the right homes, there is an element of timing. If you mail a day before Christmas, guess what? You're going to get overlooked. You're just not, it's not a great time. So there's a few times in a year. So for example, I don't mail at all the last 2 weeks of November because there's so much Black Friday mail. It's not actually Thanksgiving, it's Black Friday mail, and I don't want to get lost in the shuffle. So when we're talking direct mail specifically and how you can grow your practice right now, and I appreciate you bringing me on right now, it is a really great time. And these are the angles to play. One, you have in general, we're coming out of a winter, right? Most parts of the country, depending on where you are, you're in beautiful Southern California, so it probably doesn't matter if it's January or July to you. But for others in many parts of the country, there's a big contrast, okay? A lot of areas go into hibernation depending on what state you're in during the winter. I happen to live in a really cold area because I like snowboarding and being in the mountains. So what I see is you go into March and April, man, like the sun starts coming out, spring starts coming out. You've heard of spring cleaning, like people come out of hibernation. Okay. How does that translate into results, new patients, marketing? Well, if you want to grow your practice, there's things to understand early in the year. Q1 specifically, what I really look for right now, this time of the year, is we're talking March and April, what kind of patients are being driven to practices? Well, in Q1, the reason why it works so well in any marketing is you have thousands of people in your market area, like within miles of your practice in these neighborhoods that just got renewed benefits. Okay. They're more likely to switch to a new provider if they're unhappy with their other ones, or maybe they just got dental benefits for the first time. But the reason why these next couple months especially are key is because we're not talking just about insurance patients that have renewed benefits. We're also talking about the cash world. And everyone wants more cash patients, right? Everyone wants to get away from the PPO. So why cash? Well, what happens? You go through the holidays, November, December, guess what happens to the average American's cash funds? They go down, okay? Then you start to recover in January and February. So, and you have tax returns on the horizon. Many have already filed online. It's not just an April thing anymore. So people may already be getting them or in the process of getting them. So what happens is you have this consumer confidence with more money right now too. So I see a lot bigger cases start to happen as you go into April and May. More people calling, my design that may initially during the beginning of the year might just be January, February, might just be, hey, we're, more general, I guess, start the new year with a new smile. Where as I transition into April, May, those are what I call kind of home run months where I would go after bigger cases, implants, Invisalign, because people have more money in their pockets. I was actually just reading articles, I was on my other screen, of like the 6 highest dates when Americans have the most money in their account. It was published by a payroll company, one of the largest ones, when 60 million Americans have the most checks in their pockets and money in their pocket. Well, you're coming up on a couple of these dates in April, late April, and these are 2 dates back to back in these coming months. So I guess for this particular subject is just understanding like the season. If you're doing a direct mail, don't pre-print like a year worth of cards of the same thing. Be able to be dynamic. Okay. And it's a mistake a lot of people make, because what happens is they call their local printer, say, hey, I want to do direct mail. Okay, great. Well, if you print a year's worth, you're going to save 2 pennies per card. And it sounds great because it's a few $100s, right?
Mhm.
But the downside is you're stuck with whatever you put on that card, and you're mailing the same thing over and over and over again. I like being dynamic. Every time I mail, now it's still the same brand, right? I still want the same branding, but you can adjust that message based on what's working well. If your practice does orthodontic care for kids, I mean, man, right now you're planting seeds, because guess what? Kids are coming in for consultations and they're going to get braces as soon as summer hits. If you wait to market in summer, you're not on the radar. You're not even in the conversation of where they're going, because they've already been doing those consults. So anyway, I guess that's something that kind of resonates with me right now. If I'm looking at like seasonality, those are some hot topics for offices. I would go after some big case type dentistry right now, implants specifically, and Invisalign, things like that.
Gotcha. So the big case, so that's two of the 6 highest dates where Americans have the most money in their pockets is in April.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Nice. Yeah. So then from that point on, that's why we kind of want to be like, and it's true, right? We have like our tax refunds, right? We have that consumer confidence, like you said. I love that consumer confidence. And then that's when we can start marketing the bigger cases. Now, how do you recommend we do that on that? Like, you know what I mean? With our postcards, our direct mail, like, do we just say like, hey, we check Invisalign or?
Yeah, well, that's a good question. So I like being able to so I have offices that have literally mailed every single month for years. And guess what? Their results don't go down. Because why? Well, one is sequencing. How often do you hit a single home? And those are things that I'm happy to, talk through with anybody. But I don't want to keep mailing to the same home every single month with the same card, right? You're going to get diminishing returns. You're going to get oversaturation, and you're also going to get some people that probably don't like you because you send them the same thing every month,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I like to rotate it. So, okay, let's say a first round. If you're new to direct mail, your initial round, let's say you find 3 different zones. Okay, so there's 5,000 homes to the north, 5,000 over here, 5,000 over here. The first round, I like doing more of a general introduction. I'll have people call me, hey, I really want to do an implant campaign. The problem when you're first introducing yourself is if you come across as like an implant specialist, well, the person with 2 crowns might not call that needs 2 crowns because they think you only do implants and you can't take care of the crowns.
Mhm.
So I don't like getting too really laser focused on like an implant type campaign like this until after you've already kind of done more of a general introduction. Hey, we're family that locally owned and operated. And it's a little more introduction message like that, right? Where you're kind of showing your team and introducing yourselves. Okay. I have literally hundreds of examples of more of a general introduction. Okay. Maybe tie in some reviews, tie in a general services. Hey, we do general dentistry, but we also do implants and we also do Invisalign. Okay. So it's a little broader of a message initially. Now, when you come back to these homes, I like rotating that message and do maybe, so for maybe this is a more of a general message where it could be like invest in your smile. And it's just more of like a, new patient special. I'm trying to get more general new patients. I have a lot of offices that come to me like, Aaron, look, dude, I'm so busy with new patients. I don't actually want any more general new patients that are just coming in for some cleaning that have healthy teeth. How do I find the people that need the bigger things? And that's where you start messaging things like that. Like this one comes a lot more specific to implants and what it is. You're educating them what that looks like. So it's more in the message. I don't know. I just have a couple random ones right here, but some will go for, here's another example of just showing specific implant type pictures. I really like Invisalign campaigns because it's typically, really good value coming in with a lot less work than some other things that it takes. So same thing, I would introduce that. Now, I would feature Invisalign. Here's where people kind of mess up on targeted campaigns is they forget. So let's say I want an Invisalign campaign, like you said, they make it all about Invisalign front and back, and it's all exciting, but I don't want to lose your branding, remember, it's more important your branding. So if it's, Michael's Dentistry, I want Michael's Dentistry, FYI, we specialize in implants. FYI, we do Invisalign. Hey, we are a premier provider. So FYI, we have 5,000 reviews, 500 reviews, 25, whatever it is. So you need to keep that branding specific. So even as you rotate maybe a specific message, hey, I really want to ramp up. I want to get a bunch of kids that need braces going into the summer. Great, but make sure it's the name that's branded. FYI, we do this. And rather than vice versa, because otherwise you're just advertising Invisalign, right? You don't want to pay Invisalign. They make enough money. They don't need you to advertise for them. You need to advertise you. FYI, we do Invisalign and we're premier or whatever it is.
Got you, man. That's really, really good advice. I never thought about it like that. So awesome, Aaron. I appreciate your time. And if anyone has further questions, you can definitely find them on the Dental Marketer Society Facebook group, or where can they reach out to you directly?
Yeah, just, obviously visit our website at mvpmailhouse.com. We do, I know this sounds, I talk about offers, and that'll be a conversation for another one. What offers work, and why are you willing to give someone something to get them in? Well, because that person becomes very valuable to you, right? If you have to give away obviously you've heard of a free whitening or a $99 exam x-ray. Those are loss leaders, because if that family comes in, they're going to bring you thousands of dollars in the future years, plus their friends, plus their family. It's worth it. Same with me. I do a free x-ray and exam for offices that reach out to me. You want to learn more? Let me do a heat map for you. I'll pin drop it. It's an x-ray. I take your patient data and I pin drop it out so I can see where your hottest neighborhoods are. And I'll show you exactly where your best neighborhoods to target are. And then I'll give you a free exam basically and say, hey, this is what I would recommend to know where to mail and why to mail. So visit, that's my model. Let me show you on the front end of what I would do if I were you. If you're already doing direct mail, great. If you want a free second opinion, just like in dentistry, I'm happy to do a free second opinion too. I'll show you, it's pretty cool. I just did one last week where they have been mailing for a couple of years to this certain area, but they've never done a heat map. When I showed them where their new patients have been coming from, they were only hitting about half of the area. They've literally been mailing to thousands of homes for a few years with very little results. If they would just trim off the fat and target these hottest neighborhoods, they would have saved thousands of dollars and gotten better results too. So better results, less money. That's what everyone wants, right? Spend less, make more.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, go to mvpmailhouse.com. I'm happy to do that free heat map for anyone that reaches out to us and show you exactly your best neighborhoods to market. Even if direct mail is not for you, that's okay. Let me show you where you should be doing your digital ads, where you should be doing, what schools you should be going to, what grassroots efforts you should be doing, because this is where patients come from. So identifying those geographical barriers and stuff like that. So yeah, reach out to me, info at MVP Mailhouse, or just go to the website there, fill out the contact us form for a free demo, and we'll jump on with you.
Awesome. So guys, that's all going to be in the show notes below. So definitely check that out. And Aaron, thank you so much for being with me on this Monday morning marketing episode.
You got it. Thanks, guys.